the Hope Center in Serenje, Zambia, a place that welcomes, feeds, nurtures orphans in Serenje, and also is a training center for church planters there in Zambia. The vision of that really was birthed in the heart of a Zambian leader named Navis Kalunga, who had it in his heart to strengthen God's church there in Zambia by doing just that. Care for all the orphans that are there and send out more people to plant more churches. What a privilege it was to be there for the grand opening, the ribbon cutting for the Hope Center in Serenje, Zambia. So many months, years really, of hard work and preparation went into that day, and then to be there and to be able to see the thing open for business, and dignitaries and the kind of the who's who of Serenje all gathered in that place and all stood in absolute awe and wonder at what had been built. This kind of desolate, barren field suddenly turned into the Hope Center. It was marvelous, and yet all at the same time I had these feelings like this is not really a conclusion. Wow, this is just the beginning. There is a lot of room for expansion. It was built well, and many more children will be able to be welcomed in as the gardens begin to flourish and as we begin to network with more of the communities around Serenje there. The best is certainly yet to come, and we are going to see God do fantastic things.
I first went to Zambia back in 2006 with the summer team with Cornerstone, and God kind of used that time to capture my heart for the work He was doing there. As we were designing the Hope Center, we saw the need to make it multifunctional. So we designed a large building with an open meeting room that can serve both feeding and caring for the orphans and doing VBS in any large group settings, or when the pastors come to be trained, we can use that big meeting room. There's also a couple of classrooms and a kitchen to prepare meals and an office there. In addition, we designed and built a bathhouse. There's bathing and toilet facilities. We also built a storage shed for keeping the garden tools and the crops that we harvest from the fields, and a small guest house where different teams that go can stay and not have to pay to use the hotel in town or any other visitors that come to the Hope Center.
Cornerstone Church asked if I'd be willing to help with the building of an orphanage, and I was delighted to be able to do that. I had full approval from my wife and family and support. It was great. We hired about 50 local men to help us build this orphanage, and this orphanage turned out awesome. I would work side by side with the locals, and I would teach them what needed to be done and how to do it. Their skill level was very minimal, and the tools that we took over were somewhat modern. So it was very cool to see how I was able to build relationships, how we were able to build an orphanage, how we were able to teach each other different cultural things. And in a matter of 5 months, we were able to construct this facility, and it turned out really awesome. And they were proud, we were proud, and it's going to be a great tool for serving overseas.
Well, at the Hope Children's Center in Zambia, we have a project we call the Z8 Agricultural Project. And our vision for this is that it will become self-sustaining and economically productive resource that is managed by the Zambians for the direct benefit of the orphans at the center and for the glory of God's kingdom. What we're growing there in Serenje is a number of crops to feed the orphans. We have white maize, dry beans, peanuts, sweet potatoes, cassava, cabbage, tomatoes, pumpkin, and a green leafy vegetable called rape. And these are all great foods that the orphans can eat. We have a young man that works with us. His name's Joshua, a very capable young man, and he farms the land during the year. And then that food, of course, is when it's grown is used to feed the orphans. So I call this project the Z8 Agricultural Project, and Z8 actually comes from Zechariah 8, verse 12 and 13, and I actually use this as a blessing for this particular project. The seed will grow well, the vine will yield its fruit, the ground will produce its crops, and the heavens will drop their dew. I will give all these things as an inheritance to the remnant of this people. Do not be afraid, but let your hands be strong. It's really been a blessing for our family. The opportunity to work with the Zambians and to help feed these kids is an incredible experience. And again, I'm really thankful for the opportunity to participate through Cornerstone.
Yeah, so I got involved in Zambia fairly early in the process when Jeff asked if I'd be willing to come over and help do some of the pastor training. Pastor training was already part of what they were doing in Zambia before we came, but we just jumped into an existing program. And that existing pastor training program was growing very quickly, and it was growing because Novice Kalunga's group is going out and planting churches all over the region in Zambia. And as those new churches are planted, there are new pastors that need to be trained. The pastor training sequence that we have in place now takes between 2 and 3 years, and over that time period we'll meet with the guys 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year, in which we bring them in, we meet together, and now we're meeting at the Hope Center, at the new Hope Center. And in that time, we'll be in class from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night, just slogging through Scripture with this new group of pastors. And it's an exciting group of guys to spend time with. They're a lot of fun. They're really hungry for the Word. And it's just been a great and challenging experience to be with these young, hungry pastors who are eager to teach new believers in Zambia.
You know, the Hope Center, so fittingly named Hope, the Hope Center, it really is our opportunity to continue to offer hope for so many who are very disadvantaged. May God give us a continually renewed vision for what our role is to be there in Zambia, and then also taking the things we've learned there in Zambia to extend to other places. There are so many more regions like Serenje, Zambia around this world. Oh, may God help us to have our eyes opened, our ears keenly aware. Give us that vision, Lord, to see where we need to go from here.